Yo, what's up, guys? So, we're finally getting to JoJo. This has been a long time coming. And I know it's kind of the question you want to bring up is, why aren't I doing the first three parts? Why am I jumping to part 4? Well, I like part 4 better, so that's what we're going to do. I'll eventually get to the other parts, mind you. I'm just saying I'm doing this first because I like part 4 a lot. So part 4 is pretty different from the other parts because it's the first part in which the story has nothing really to do with saving the world. It's not like a life-shattering event going on that would dictate the fate of the entire universe or the future for the next few decades or even centuries. It's a simple story. You got a bunch of kids in Morio, and some stand users start coming around and murdering people. And eventually they have to stop a killer who's been killing in Morio for years. But if you don't stop him, well, Morio's been doing fine with him hanging around, so what's the big deal with him not being around anymore? Well, that's the whole thing. It wouldn't be that much different, or you would never know. The people who died would know, but no one else would know. The thing that makes part 4 so appealing is the fact that part 4 has this kind of chill, slice of life, relaxed vibe about it. Because even though you have your stereotypical JoJo things going around, crazy people with crazy stands that do crazy things, whole bunch of weird and bizarre stuff going on, it also has that era relatability. And our JoJo for this part, Josuke, is probably one of my favorites. Now, granted, this is partially due to he's based off of that Yankee kind of Japanese stereotype that I already like in anime anyway, because they're like the sensitive tough guy. Like, they're really cool and they got the badass bravado and really cool outfits and shit. But at the end of it all, they're still nice, sweet guys. These are the guys that'll like beat the shit out of you and then take you out to eat because you were a man and you fought with everything you had. And that's the kind of guy Josuke is. He looks like a punk, but Josuke's still a swell guy and cares about his friends. And the fact that his stand, Crazy Diamond, has the ability to heal anything it touches, besides Josuke, makes him kind of the true definition of a bleeding heart. On top of the fact that the heart seems to be an ongoing theme in his outfit and his stand, with the heart on Crazy Diamond's head, the heart insignia in like Josuke's base shirt design. He's just a nice dude, and I appreciate that about him. The reason why part 4 sticks out to me the most, on top of its relaxed vibe, is that it feels like a lot more personable. The thing I don't like about part 3 is that even though Jotaro was technically around the same age as Josuke is in part 4, you couldn't fucking tell because Jotaro doesn't look like a teenager. He doesn't act like a teenager. Jotaro is literally the stereotypical main protagonist badass. Like, he runs around, he throws his fists, and he asks questions later, and it's like, bang! Are you talking to me? and I get it, it's cool from an aesthetic point, but there's nothing about him I like. Like, the thing about Josuke I enjoy is that Josuke, like a teenager, is interested in girls, he's interested in hanging out with his friends, he's interested in playing video games. He does all the stereotypical things a teenager would do, which makes him relatable, on top of the issues he has in terms of the stand users he's dealing with, and some family issues that you'll get into later in the part. Now, I don't want to spoil part 4 because I think part 4 is one of the funner parts. Part 4, for the majority of the part, is actually a mystery. It's kind of like part 3 in the sense that you're still fighting stand user after stand user after stand user, but you don't really know who the main villain is. I mean, in part 3, we knew it was Dio, so all the stand users had a purpose. Oh, they were sent by Dio. They were out here to fight for Dio and to destroy the Crusaders from getting over there and destroying Dio or trying to destroy Dio. Part 4, it's like, are you just trying to hustle my family with your stand? And granted, it's still not major things, and they're still for the most part fodder. But I like that part 4 kind of went on the idea of, well, you know what, let's reuse some of these stand users, give them somewhat bigger roles in future parts. Because if we're going from way part 4 starts to way part 4 ends, the cast has gotten majorly huge. And it's weird because some of these characters don't show up that much in the actual part itself, but they're not dicks because they never were fighting for one specific villain. The reason why part 4 is so much fun is because you really don't know what's going to happen next. It's like part 3, you can predict how the majority of the part went. They're going to walk around, run into a stand user, is going to corner one of them, they're going to have a fight, they're either going to win or die, more than likely going to win, and we move on to the next episode. In part 4, you had kind of a similar approach, but it was also like, well, is he going to join? Is she going to join the fight to save Mario? What's this about? So when you actually hit the main plot, because that's the other cool thing, the main plot of Mario doesn't even kick in until like halfway through it. It trips me out how much fun this show can be, because some episodes have nothing to do with the plot at all. Not even like fighting stand users. Some of them are just basic fucking stories. And what makes part 4 so enjoyable is that randomness and chilled out nature of it all. Also, Josuke feels like he has actual friends in the form of Koichi and Okuyasu, because although they're not together in every single episode, I like how certain aspects carried over. I'm not going to get into what though, because some of those are really funny comedic moments. Part 4 is something you can relate to. When you're in your home, you go out to work, you see something kind of fucked up going on, and depending on the kind of person you are, you're like, I'm not putting up with that in my town. And that's what you do. Part 4's biggest strength is that it's just kind of down to earth. In a universe in which you can run around with crazy strands and put holes in people and they'd be perfectly fine afterwards, I appreciate this down to earth relatability for the characters, the story, and the motivations. Has a great fucking soundtrack. The animation can be downright beautiful at times, and if you can, and hopefully it gets licensed over here, please watch the Blu-ray version of the anime. And granted, you can read the manga for this too, but I actually think the anime's better just because the anime has a consistent style. The thing about part 4 is that part 4 in the manga is when Araki starts changing his style from his like Fist of the North style to more like fabulous and stylized, which is the other point I give the anime. The anime is so stylized that none of the characters have consistent colors, because the animation, the way the anime transitions from scene to scene and the way it uses its colors, the characters will sometimes show up in purple, blue, green, whatever the fuck, because it's a bizarre adventure. I feel like there was, even though the anime isn't like as consistently with the macho men and the ridiculous action, and sometimes you get a case of wonky animation, and made up in terms of its style and flow, kind of like a rap artist, just giving you that kind of beat and display. It was like a magical display for the eyes. Some episodes look absolutely stunning, and that makes up a lot for me in some of the few wonky scenes in which you look far in the background and go, whoa, Koichi looks fucked up. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a great series in itself, and I think part 4 was a good transition into the kind of stories Araki could tell. Up until this point, Araki was telling stories of like really supernatural shit and pretty much like high stakes adventures. And I think some people, and this is how you can show the mark of a great artist, can show how creative and versatile they can be when they place restrictions and burdens on them. And considering the entirety of part 4 takes place in one town, it's insane the amount of shit he was able to come up with. Yes, I'm sucking this show's dick, and yes, I don't give a damn. It's a good show, man. It's a good show, and I think Josuke is worthy of the nickname JoJo. So I would definitely highly fucking suggest you check out JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And specifically, check out part 4. Because although there are a few things you will miss, for the most part, you can watch part 4 stand alone and not miss a goddamn thing. Now granted, I say watch part 1, 2, and 3, although I don't like 3 as much. You still should watch them, but you can watch part 4 stand alone if you wanted to. There's a few things you're going to miss, but the general idea, you'll be good. So I would say check that out. It's good stuff. Now if you excuse me, someone's been knocking at that door for a little while, and I'm a little afraid to open it, but I think it's about time I faced my fears and got to it. I'll catch you guys later. Life's a game. Play to win.